Greetings, beautiful people of YouTube and the great beyond. And I just wanted to come and see you today and just sit here and waffle on about something that I've been thinking about, and something that most of you will probably just turn off or ignore if you haven't already turned off. If you're still here, well done. But it's something that I've seen in my own life, and then something as I've progressed in my career, and it's been a relatively lengthy career, and I've been in a position to hire people and help people to grow in their careers. But one thing that I see a lot of people doing in life is when they are very young, they try to specifically pick a field of study that they don't necessarily feel all that interested in, but they think that if I do take that field of study, it will lead to this particular job, this particular income, this particular rate of success, and therefore I will have this happy, successful life in the career that I want with no problem. And unfortunately, life doesn't usually work that way. Life is a series of changes and unexpected events, and the people who tend to be the more successful, whatever that word means, are the ones who can adapt and change. And I think that people who take a field of study that they love, something that they really love to do, even if they think that this may not necessarily have some kind of massive earning potential or take you into some specific direction in your career, those people tend to have a greater capacity for change and adapting to that change. And also, as life goes on and as your career goes on and you start to identify your strengths and your weaknesses, and you're able to focus on those strengths and apply them to whatever career path or whatever career you may be in. For example, I tried when I first left high school, I did a diploma in marketing and communication and computers, and I loved it. Not all of it, but I loved most of it, particularly on the communication side and the computer side. And then after that, I, through a job that I obtained, started doing a degree in analytical chemistry. And I loved it for the first year. And the second year I realized I just hated every minute of it. It absolutely was not for me. And I thought, I really enjoy working with computers at this point in my life. Let me try and find a job in computers, which I did. And I started working as a IT assistant in a small company, just going around installing software and fixing basic problems and whatever. And I tried to do a course in software development. And as soon as I began, I realized I just have no interest in pursuing this. And what I was doing was I was reading books every single day, every single night, every single weekend, and I was in love with literature and writing, and had been all of my life. And I was at a point where I was thinking, what do I read next? Which book should I try and get hold of and read next? And it suddenly struck me, there's a great way to get advised or to get inspiration for what to read next. Enroll in study literature. So I enrolled to do a brief introductory course in the humanities, and absolutely loved it, completed it, and decided to enroll and do my bachelor's degree in literature. 5 years later, I completed my bachelor's with honours in literature. I was not doing very well financially, but completing that degree, I obtained a little increase just merely because I had a higher level of education. I had built more confidence through it and started to gradually climb in my career, which was still in IT and not related to literature whatsoever, but I started to incorporate elements of communication and support in terms of communication and being able to help colleagues with things that were not IT, not technically related. And I was able to become a bridge between very technical teams who had difficulties communicating with regular people, and of course the regular people communicating with these extremely technical, not always the most social people. And that formed a path where everything that I started to do then was still in IT, but fortunately for me was also in a travel arena, so I was able to embrace my love of travel and see different parts of the world and move to different countries, and to bring more and more communication aspects into my job and into the teams that I worked within. I went on to do my master's degree in English, primarily literature, and linguistics, but primarily literature, which opened up the door to further opportunities. In the middle of my master's degree, I got the opportunity to leave the UK and move to Madrid in Spain, and to get a promotion at work and move into a management position. And as I started to develop and really love my job, to love Madrid, love Spain, completed my master's degree, which again resulted in a small increase in my salary, building of confidence even further for myself, because it was a great satisfaction, something I was really proud of, to say I have my master's degree, something that I'd always had the dream of getting a bachelor's degree. I never even contemplated earlier in life getting a master's. And then the opportunity came to move to the US, and coincidentally, one of the primary prerequisites of obtaining a green card through business is to hold a master's degree. So what do you know? I had just obtained a master's degree. I moved to the US on a business visa, which was then upgraded to a green card. And now I am a British American citizen, still working in IT management, still working with very, very complex technical teams, but bringing, I hope, some light in terms of communication and visibility and interaction between different people, and bringing diversity to different teams. And so, from that journey that I am pleased you let me share, I hope that you can feel some form of inspiration. I know that a lot of this is based on luck and so on, but it is also based on being true to yourself, being true to your interests, being true in what you want to commit to and how you can interact with people, being genuine. And for me, I would never have had a bachelor's degree or a master's degree if I didn't study something that I loved, which is literature. And it's a wonderful thing being able to balance a rewarding career, which is not in literature, with a love of literature, and actually bring those two seemingly incompatible lifestyles or worldviews together, and to help them to coexist, and to help people to collaborate using that. And with that, I won't bore you any further. Thank you for listening if you made it this far, and I will talk to you soon.